So it's hard to be successful on YouTube if you've got bad sound. Luckily, there's easy fixes for bad sound, and the easiest one I think is to use a lavalier microphone. And so today I'm going to walk through a whole bunch of different lavalier microphones so you can get an idea of what you should be looking for if you buy a lavalier, and which one might be the right one for you. So I'm Brighton West, and I help coaches, authors, and speakers use YouTube to reach a worldwide audience, and we're talking lavaliers today. There's three things that I look for in a lavalier microphone. The first one is that it sounds good. Now, I don't have the best ear for good audio, but I can tell when something sounds crappy. The second one is how adaptable is it? Can I use it with multiple devices, or is it only going to work with an iPhone? And the third one is, how does it look? Because some of these microphones, you can hide them really easy. They look really professional, but some of them look like huge monsters clipped onto your shirt. But let's just first start talking about, well, what is a lavalier microphone and why does it work so well? So I'm just going to pick up one. So the idea here is a wired microphone, usually wired. I'll cover wireless in a bit. You plug it into your phone or into your camera, and then you clip the microphone onto your shirt, pretty close to your mouth. The sound of your voice is very loud, really close to this microphone. So compared to any kind of background noise, this is your voice is just much louder than background noise. So even if you're in a really loud room, having the microphone be this close makes it so that that background noise is really drowned out. That's what a lavalier is. A lavalier clips to your shirt, brings the microphone close to your mouth. You can also tape these. There's different ways to attach them. I'm not really going to go into the details here, but you could attach it. Sometimes I tape it underneath on my shirt, but usually you can clip it on. I'll probably even have a video about how to properly clip these on, because there is a little loop thing that you can do that helps make it look good and sound good. So the first thing you need to know is what kind of equipment are you recording with? I like to record with my iPhone. I'm using my DSLR right now. I also have a video camera, so there's a number of different ways. Maybe you've got a GoPro, but you need to make sure that the adapter for the microphone that you buy works with your equipment. Pretty simply, if you see here, this has 3 little black bars on it. Compare that to this one here has 2 black bars on it. So the difference is in essentially how it interacts with your device. If you have a smartphone, an iPhone, an Android, you need the one with the 3 lines. If you have a video camera or a DSLR, you need the one with the 2 lines. Some of these come with adapters, and some just have a lot of different options to them. So another thing that these microphones come with is often a windscreen. So it's this puffy foam ball, and it's meant mostly if you're outside, there's a slight breeze. That slight breeze really gets picked up by the microphone. So you can put this on and you have less of that wind touching the microphone. I've also found that it can help if you've got some brushing up against your shirt. Pop that on and it might help get rid of that noise. And one of these microphones, this one, does have a real problem with that, so it's kind of a necessity. Depending on the size of your microphone, you end up with much smaller windscreens. Now there's something out there called a dead cat, and here's one of them. So what the dead cat is it goes over the foam ball and really provides a lot of wind resistance. So if you're out on a windy day, you put that over the microphone and you'll pretty much get rid of any of that wind noise. So dead cat is not my term, that's a standard film industry term. You might have seen it if you've ever seen the boom operator out on a film set on a windier day. They put this fur around the microphone and it's called a dead cat. It looks like a cat. If you have a better name for that, I'd love to hear what your suggestion would be down in the comments below. So first is one that you probably already own. This is the earbuds that came with your iPhone if you have an iPhone, and it has the microphone built in. This will work in a pinch. You can just use this and tape it onto your shirt. You're not going to have a lot of distance to get with this, but this is a really good example of a lavalier microphone. You can put it pretty close to your mouth if you're in a pinch. The next one I've got here is the Movo PM10. This is set up for a smartphone. It's got the 3 black lines on it. And this one works pretty well. This is kind of my go-to microphone when using a smartphone. The end is relatively small, so it's not kind of obnoxiously big. It clips on your shirt and it kind of fades away a little bit. And the sound quality is pretty good. So next up is the Smart Lav. This is the Rode Smart Lav Plus, I think. You can see how much smaller the microphone is on this one, and it's a very high quality microphone. It's like $80. I really can't hear the difference between this one and that last one, the Movo PM10. I usually say go with the PM10 unless you've really got an amazing sense of hearing and you can hear the difference, or if you want something much smaller. So this is called the Pop Voice. This is one of my newest microphones, and it's actually a 2-headed microphone, so this is perfect for interviews. So you've got one for you and one for the person you're interviewing. And they work really well, and this is set up automatically to work with your cell phone. However, it comes with adapters if your cell phone isn't working, or if you need to plug into a video camera or a DSLR. This comes with a lot of little stuff, extra little clips and the windscreens, but it does have a much bigger microphone on the end of it. So it's a little more obvious that you're wearing a microphone, a little more distracting. Sounds good. It does record all the audio into the same channel. So you're not able to have it split off to say, person A is on channel A and person B is on channel B, and then adjust the volume separately. It's really just one big channel of audio. So next up is the Audio-Technica. I think it's the 3350, and I use this one a lot. It's got about 20 feet of cord, and it's really meant to work with a DSLR or a video camera. It has a little battery inside here. It's really easy to remember or to forget to turn it off. But I think it's just the length of the cord, and working with a DSLR, you need that extra power in there. But it doesn't work well with an iPhone, I've found. And even there's a version that's supposed to work with an iPhone with an adapter, but I found it really hasn't worked as well as some of the other options I shared with you today. So if you're working with your laptop, you might need to find something that plugs into the laptop into a USB port. So that's why I bought this guy. Sometimes the way your earphone plugs or whatnot work with your computer, sometimes you just can't find a good working solution with some of these other options. So this is a great option. It's got a USB plug on one side and then the microphone on the other. This is probably one of my least favorite. It picks up a lot of noise from your clothes, and I'm not sure if it's just because it's such a big microphone. And I talked earlier about the windscreens, and I found that if you do put the windscreen on this one, it does seem to cut back on that movement noise, just because it's not rubbing up against your clothes. But then look how big that is. That is humongous. But if that's what you're looking for in terms of plugging into a USB port, there's an option for you. So lastly, I do want to talk about wireless microphones. And I found that it's pretty hard to get a reliable wireless microphone without paying a lot of money. And I've been there, I've tried different microphones. Some of them work for a little while, then they stop working, or they are easy to get interference. If you really need to have a wireless microphone, this is what I recommend. It's a Sennheiser. This is a $600 microphone. It is high quality, and you can set many different frequencies. This is not set up to work with an iPhone. I'm not sure if you could even get an adapter just because of the way the microphone attaches to the receiver or the transceiver. It's got 2 packs. One goes on your camera, one goes on the person with the microphone, and you can get a really strong signal. Really sounds professional. There are some options out there for $100 that have worked okay in the past, if you reach out, I'll probably tell you which one works the best. But if you really want it to work, go all the way to the Sennheiser for $600. So as I mentioned earlier, I've got more videos that are more in-depth into each of these, and they'll be coming out over the next few days. So if you're watching this in the future, hopefully they're all ready. I've got a couple of them on the screen here. I would love for you to subscribe, especially if you're a coach. I love helping people get their message to the world on YouTube.